Please be seated. Good evening.
Good evening.
On behalf of the Mahanoy City Elks Lodge number 695 of the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks, I welcome you to our Flag Day program. Today, June 14th, as a nation we celebrate the anniversary of the birthday of our flag, Old Glory. As Elks, we have it in our ritual. As Americans and patriots, we first place the flag by our altar, and as this flag typifies the glory of our nation, we have adopted it as the crowning virtue of our order. Allegiance to the flag of our country is a requirement of every member of our order. Our patriotic observance will remind us of the vital importance of Old Glory and what it means to all of us. Please stand and unite in singing the Star Spangled Banner. Members and guests, the purpose of this service is to honor our country's flag, to celebrate the anniversary of its birth, and to recall the achievements attained beneath its folds. It is quite appropriate that such a service should be held by the Order of Elks, an organization that is distinctly American, intensely patriotic, and without counterpart. Esteemed leading night, what are the fraternal aims of the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks?
To inculcate the principles of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity, to promote the welfare and happiness of mankind, to uphold our country and its laws, and to quicken the spirit of American patriotism.
Esteemed leading night, what is the significance of the American flag?
It's a symbol of brotherly love.
The significance of the flag from the station of the exalted ruler symbolizes fidelity. Charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity are the cardinal principles of our order, and and they are exemplified in all our services. By them, we teach the love of country and of our countrymen, and loyalty to our American way of life. To be an Elk is to be an American citizen who lives for their country and is ready to die for it. Please stand. The chaplain will lead us in prayer.
Almighty God, in this hour of patriotic observance of the birthday of the American flag, we ask you to bless our flag and the people of this United States for all that our flag represents, both at home and abroad. We thank thee, and that through all our history as a nation, it has been an ensign of freedom, liberty, and opportunity. And through the years to come, may this flag wave as the banner of liberty, freedom, and enlightenment. May this service bring to each of us a sense of loyalty to our country and enable us to be better patriots, true citizens, and world-loyal Americans, to thy glory and to thy honor of this great nation. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. That we may better understand the meaning of our flag, I'll begin the history of our flag. Heraldry is as old as the human race. The carrying of banners has been a custom among all peoples in all ages. These banners usually contain some concept of the life or government of those who fashion them. The evolution of the American flag marks the progression of the government of the American people. From the founding of Jamestown in Virginia in 1607 until 1775, the flag of England was the flag of the peoples of America. In 1775, the pine tree flag was adopted for all colonial vessels, and this was the banner carried by the Continental forces in the Battle of Bunker Hill. The southern colonies from 1776 to 1777 used the snake flag. In the latter part of 1775, the Continental Congress appointed a committee to consider the question of a single flag for the 13 colonies. That committee recommended a design of 13 alternate stripes of red and white, with an azure field in the upper corner, bearing the red cross of St. George and the white cross of St. Andrew. John Paul Jones, the senior lieutenant of the flagship Alfred, hoisted this flag to the masthead on December 3rd, 1775. And 1 month later, it was raised over the headquarters of General Washington at Cambridge, Massachusetts, in compliment, as he wrote, to the United Colonies. This flag, called the Continental Colors and the Grand Union, was never carried in the field by the Continental Land Forces, but it was used by the Navy as its exclusive ensign, and was the first American flag to receive a salute of honor, a salute of 11 guns from the Fort of Orange in the Dust West Indies. In response to the general demand for a banner more representative of our country, the Congress on June 14, 1777, provided that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes of alternating red and white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white on a blue field, representing a new constellation.
France on the French coast, and the Ranger under command of John Paul Jones was saluted by a French fleet. This flag then was carried by the Ranger, who made by the young woman of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, for the stripes of their best colored silk dresses and the white wedding gown of a recent bride. It is said that the same Rangers flag was flown by Jones' ship, Bonnie Home Richard, in its thrilling flight by moonlight on the high seas. When the British frigate Cyprus struck her colors, an immortal frame John Paul Jones was insured as a determined defender of the youthful republic. The original 13 stars and stripes represented 13 colonies. In 1775, 2 additional stars and stripes were added to represent mission to the Union of Vermont and Kentucky. Under this banner, the 15 stars and stripes were fought the war of 1812. It was the site of it flying over Fort McHenry on September 14, 1814, that inspired Francis Scott Key to write what was become our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. The Congress on April 14, 1818 adopted a resolution on after July 4, 1818, the number of stripes should be 13, and that the blue field should carry 1 star for each of the 20 states in the Union, and and that new stars should be added to each state thereafter.
Please stand and salute our flag. As this emblem is first in our hearts as loyal Americans, so it is close to our altar as loyal Elks. The gentle breezes with lingering caress kiss the folds of no flag which can compare with its beauty. There is no such red in budding rose, in falling leaf or sparkling wine. No such white in April blossom, in crescent moon or mountain snow. No such blue in woman's eye, in ocean's depth or heaven's dome. And no such pageantry of clustering stars and streaming light in all the spectrum of the land and sea. Please be seated. Our flag is at once a history, a declaration, and a prophecy. It represents the American nation as it was at its birth. It speaks for what it is today, and it holds the opportunity for the future to add other stars to the glorious constellation. The Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks is the first and only fraternal body to require formal observance of Flag Day. In July of 1908, the Grand Lodge of this order at Dallas, Texas, then assembled, provided for the annual nationwide observance of Flag Day on the 14th of June in each year, by making it a mandatory upon each subordinate lodge of the order. This unique distinction is the strongest promoter of Flag Day, is most becoming to the Order of Elks. The order is distinctly American. Only American citizens are eligible to join it, and it has no foreign affiliations. It has linked its destiny with the destiny of our country, and made this flag its symbol of self-dedication to God, to country, and to fellow men. Please stand and join in singing, God Bless America.
Hey!
Please be seated.
The Stars and Stripes, flag of the United States of America, the worldwide hope of all who under God would be free for live and do his will. Upon its folds is written the story of America, the epic of the mightiest and noblest in all history. In the days when peoples of the old world groveled in abject homage to the heresy of the divine right of kings, a new constellation appeared in the western skies, the Stars and Stripes, symbolizing the divine right of all to life, liberty, happiness, and peace under endowment by their Creator. To what man or woman is given words adequate to tell the story of the building of this nation? The immortal story is written in blood and sweat, in heroic deeds and unremitting toil, in clearing the primeval forest and in planting of vast prairies where once the coyote and buffalo roamed. Onward swept the nation, spanning wide rivers, leaping vast mountain ranges, leaving in the path villages and farms, factories and cities, till at last this giant nation stood astride the continent from the Atlantic to the Pacific. This is the heritage of the people of the United States. It has been repurchased by each succeeding generation and must be won again, again, and again until the end of time, lest it too shall pass like the ancient empire of Greece and Rome. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance that was won at Lexington and Concord and Bunker Hill, had to be repurchased at Ticonderoga and Yorktown. What John Paul achieved upon the high seas in the War of Independence had to be repurchased by Commodore Perry on Lake Erie in the War of 1812. The prestige of Admiral Dewey's victory at Manila Bay in 1898 was re-won by the naval battles in the seas about the far distant islands of the Pacific. After the sneak attacks upon Pearl Harbor and Manila in 1941 had summoned our country to assume its role in World War II, that our troops achieved under the Stars and Stripes at Chateau Thierry and Flanders in World War I, their sons were required to repurchase in World War II. In the bloody trek across northern Africa, on the beachheads of Europe, and in the Battle of the Bulge. The flag our American men raised at Iwo Jima was the same flag later raised in the defense of Ishan, Bushan, and Fort Chop Hill in far-off Korea. Then another generation under the same flag fled to stem the threat of communism in far-off Vietnam. Our young people were again called to carry our flag into the defense of a free world in the action of Grenada and Panama. Willingly, our brave men and women carried our flag and the honor of the American people into battle in Operation Desert Storm. And who among us will ever forget the sight of firefighters raising our flag over the ruins of the World Trade Center, the military personnel draping our flag on the side of the Pentagon, or the citizens of Somerset County, Pennsylvania, placing our flag near the site where brave Americans died, fighting the hijacker of flight number 93. No other symbol would have offered such comfort as we still today endure the horrors of that day. Today, American armed forces carrying our flag in the villages of Iraq, the mountains of Afghanistan, and the jungles of the Philippines, and wherever terrorism may reside, their struggle against the sponsors of terrorism is the hardest battle yet. And this threat to our nation and to our way of life is certainly as great a challenge as our flag has ever seen. The resurgence of patriotism since September 11th, 2001 has rekindled respect for our flag. Today we see the Star-Spangled Banner wherever we turn, on homes, businesses, automobiles, and billboards. Such displays stimulate our love for our nation and for what it stands. They remind us of the sacrifice being made by the men and women of our armed forces around the world, and they are a tribute to the heroes of the police and fire departments the nation over. The greatest significance of this flag, however, lies in the influences it has in the hearts and minds of millions of people. It has waved over the unparalleled progress of a nation in developing democratic institutions, science and technology, education and culture. It has served as a beacon for millions of poor and oppressed refugees abroad and stands as a promise that underprivileged will not be forgotten. What is the meaning of the flag of the United States? There can never be a definite answer to that question. There are people in this world who see it as a symbol of imperialism. Others see it as a destiny of the people. But reference to those and similar views of the flag was resolved by Woodrow Wilson when he said, "This flag, which we honor and under which we serve, is the emblem of our unity, our power, our thoughtfulness and share of this nation. It has no other character than that which we give it from generation to generation. The choices are ours. Only love, true love of our fellow man can create peace. The emblem and token of that love is the stars and stripes, the symbol of the American way of life."
The flag is formally honored by the Pledge of Allegiance. This pledge was written in 1892 by Francis Bellamy and published in the Youth's Companion as part of a patriotic campaign of that magazine. The pledge did not become part of the flag code until 1942, and in 1954, the phrase, "under God," was added. Let us stand and pledge ourselves never to forget the principles represented by this flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. It now gives me great pleasure to present our past exalted ruler, Ruth Jane, who is going to introduce and present our special guest.
I want to tell you about Madison Cadenas. She wrote an essay on what the Pledge of Allegiance means to me. And she entered it along with, I can't tell you how many others, 70-some. And so we thought it was pretty good, so we sent it on to the Northeast District. And the Northeast District thought it was pretty good out of all the ones that they got, and they sent it on to the state. Well, lo and behold, she did win in the state of Pennsylvania. And this year is the first year that they made it national. So they sent it on to the Grand Lodge, which every state submitted essays, and she won second place in the National Americanism Essay Contest. And we are fortunate that she is here today to read her essay for us.
What the Pledge of Allegiance means to me. Every day I come to school, I start my day by pledging allegiance to our flag. I have been repeating the same behavior since I entered kindergarten. However, there is a great difference between the pledge I recited in kindergarten and the pledge I recite today. Although the words are the same, the meaning behind them has changed. I now realize the importance behind those 31 words. As I stand and face the flag today, I am very much aware of the promise I am making and freedoms I am enjoying because I have the privilege to live in the United States. I am pledging to support and honor my country. When I say the Pledge of Allegiance, I promise to be loyal and to treat every citizen fairly and equally. In this country, we do not judge others by their race, religion, or gender. This great nation gives every citizen the same rights and freedoms. The American dream can be achieved by all. As a teenager, I now understand the sacrifices that our men and women of the military have made to keep our country free and safe. Many lives have been lost so I can continue to get my education, spend time with my family, and attend church. As a kindergartner, I took those freedoms for granted. Today and every day that I have the opportunity to stand and pledge my flag, I will do so with pride and honor. I will remember how blessed I am to live in such an amazing country.
Thank you, Madison. Mahanoy City Elks is very proud that you represented us and came through with flying colors. In conclusion of this observance of Flag Day, let us rededicate ourselves to the flag of the United States of America. And may the principles of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity ever increase in each of us. Please stay for refreshments afterwards. I now declare this service closed. We will now retire on